Welcome to Mecum's Gone Farmin' Vintage Tractor Auction, featuring the only classic tractor auction of its kind in the country. Today, some of the hardest to find tractors in the world will hit the auction block. So sit back and relax and enjoy Mecum's Gone Farmin' Vintage Tractor Auction.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mecum's Gone Farmin' Classic Tractor Auction from Walworth, Wisconsin. I'm Mike Holland along with Max Wilson, and we'll be bringing you some of the most classic tractors that have ever hit the auction block. We're going to get started with all the action right after this. Welcome back to Walworth, Wisconsin for Mecum's Gone Farmin'. Let's take a look at the next tractor as it makes its way up to the block. Bringing us to lot S39.
Yeah, and of course the John Deere AOS here to Orchard Streamline. This has the original sheet metal on it. No fiberglass anywhere in this, so pretty much it means it wasn't all banged up. They didn't have to use any Bondo or anything in it. Of course, the AOS was only built, I believe, 1 year, which was 1937. This one here, beautiful running. It's been sitting here popping in our left ear over here as it was waiting to come in.
Certainly making its presence known.
Yeah, and of course, right out of the gate here, we're at $11,000 bid. And it is selling at no reserve, so. Looks like new tires all the way around on this.
Max, explain to some of our viewers what the deal was with this particular model. Why in the world this tractor looks like it does?
Well, what it is, you know, on that front end, you got that little bit of a point to it. Kind of looks like a Roadster, especially if it had the full fender skirts on it, which every piece of Orchard tin work was optional on these, but the AOS was just unique for that 1 year. And what was that point that went down in between your trees and kind of separated your branches and kind of swept them up over the hood and everything. Very unique tractor. I think we've sold a few of them here over the last few years, but this is a real nice one with the original sheet metal all the way around on it. $12,200 right now bid.
And it's going to roll out at $12,200, bringing me to another one of my show favorites. Max, this is lot S40. It's a Ford 961. I love this tractor.
Yeah, of course, 961 Power Master. This also has the three-point hitch on the back. Also has the spin-out style rear wheels that Ford had. Power steering on this tractor, which is kind of an unusual option on a lot of the Fords with the narrow front. And it says it runs good and tight. Beautiful restoration on this tractor. I've always kind of liked these with that red and gray color scheme up over the grill and the hood. $4,500 bid right now. Made a little bit of a jump here in the bid on that tractor, up to $5,700 now.
Kathy just made her way past our announcer's booth to get some one-on-one time. Audrey actually just selling that one out at $5,700, bringing us to our next lot, S41, which is a Ford 4000. This is one of those unique Fords that we were talking about earlier, Max. This has got the blue and white conversion on it.
Yeah, and this was at this point Ford was starting to go with that blue and kind of a off-white color to them. And of course, like I was saying before, with that 2000, it said they had a plastic grille. This is the early version of that 1000 series, where they still looked a little bit like that 961 that just went by with the sheet metal and everything. They just changed it to a blue color and changed the grille insert on it. This one here believed to only have 1,100 original hours on it.
One owner, right hours.
How many hours?
How many hours? 1,100 hours.
1,100 hours on the tractor.
One owner.
Yeah, one owner tractor. 3,600. 34, 36. 36,
36, Sally. Average.
And as you can see, that Paul has just convinced the seller to take the reserve off of this one. They will be going home, and it also generates some more interest. Here they go.
And in that tractor, I forgot to mention, is a Selecto speed, so it does have the Ford power shift in that tractor. And of course, Big Paul gets that reserve off, and now it's time for Kathy and the other ring people to get to work.
And it's going to roll out at $3,700. Well, folks, Mecum's Gone Farmin' is a course about tractors, but another piece of Americana history and another part of our show is the vintage signs and collectibles. Let's take a look.
The Massey Ferguson single-sided lighted sign, 145 inches by 48 inches. So. 12.5 for this Massey Ferguson sign. 12.5, 1,500 now. And of course, Massey Ferguson is the kind of later company that Massey Harris was. Massey Harris and Ferguson Company merged and became Massey Ferguson. That sells for $1,500. That's going to bring up another M66 is another Aladdin gasoline sign, single-sided tin, 72.5 by 36 inches. This one here you can see has a little more age than the last sign that we had in here. McLean County Service Company. Got that little bit of a light surface rust there that really kind of speaks to the age of the sign. And that one's going to sell for $500, and that's going to bring up M67 double-sided lighted New Holland sign. And of course, New Holland was big in the hay equipment business and the balers and mower conditioners.
Here's a stumper for you. What was their first color before blue?
New Holland? Or? First color before blue? I think you got me on that one.
It was blue.
That's going to bring up Alice sign M68, single-sided tin enamel. That one's 72 by 18 inches. Of course, got that blue border, so that kind of puts it back a few years, probably around the time of the WCs and the early WDs. $350 bid, or $300, looking for $350. Okay, and that one's going to bring up another Alice Chalmers single-sided tin sign, M69. This one here has Dieter's implement on the bottom of it. Would have been a dealership sign. And that AC logo would have been from about the 50s with the diamond and the gear inside of it.
And the crowd still holding steady here in Walworth, Wisconsin. Featuring some very collectible, high-end signs, as told by the amount of money that these signs are bringing.
As that one brings $325. And lot M70 is Alice Chalmers double-sided lighted sign. And that one I think is hanging at the back of the arena here, as they try and locate this sign. This one is 49 by 49 inches. So good size sign. There we go right there, and that's the old diamond logo with the gear inside of it and the AC. $1,250 bid right now on it. It sells for $12.5. And that's going to bring M71 as an IH truck sign, double-sided porcelain. And that's another one I believe we got hanging up in the rafters here. And that one's 48 by 36 inches. Looking at 250 bid right now, looking for 3. Now got 3. And of course, International Harvester used to make some really great pickup trucks. They were very solid. Lasted a long time. My dad had one for years. $500, now $550. Jumping up a little bit more, 6.5 right now, looking for $700 bid now. And International, they had a lot of different things they did. They were making refrigerators and freezers. I think we've sold a few of those here at some of the other Gone Farming events. $800 Kevin's Way on that International truck sign.
And with that, we're going to take a break in the auction here and see what Kevin's up to. Kevin, who do you have for us?
Guys, we're here with Casey and Michelle. So they're looking around today. Casey, you've got a little bit of a collection at home. Tell me a little bit about your collection.
I've got mostly Wheatlands and Standards, 2 cylinders, and a new generation 4020 also.
So what about the tractors that you've seen here in Walworth, Wisconsin? What do you think of the quality of some of the tractors?
There's always good quality here, it seems. Every time we come, there's always something I always want, but, you know, it's all the space at home, you know, kind of negates what we can take, so.
Well, I hope you guys have a great time, and good luck in your search. Back to you guys.
Bringing us up to lot S50, which is a 1946 John Deere H. I like this tractor, Max.
Yeah, this is the start of the collection. He has brought a complete set of John Deere H's, all the different variations with the matching equipment. This one here was the number 101 one-row mounted picker or semi-mounted picker. Original Firestone ground grip tires on this. It has fenders. Very hard to find John Deere front wheel weights. And the picker is restored and optional. Do not see many of these that ended up on little H's, so ought to be interesting to see where this one goes as far as price, and selling at no reserve. And of course the Farmall H's, that was the small tractor that was built to kind of get the last of the horses off the farms in the early 40s, all the way up to 47 when it was replaced by the John Deere Model M. This H also has electric start on it. Serial number is 57433. $9,000 right now on this tractor with the mounted picker. And of course that picker would be a hand lift on it to raise and lower it when you got to the end of the row. That would be that big lever that's right there behind the operator. And that sells Audra's away for $9,000.
And that's going to bring us to lot S 51, which is a 1941 John Deere H&H.
Yeah, and of course, H&H stood for H with the single front wheel. So H, narrow, known as a California high crop. It's got the taller wheels on the back, and it gained a little bit of height for cultivating some of the taller crops out there they were growing in California. Very few of these are known to exist. There were only 37 of them built, and it was shipped September 5th of 41 to Stockton, California. I believe this one also has the two-cylinder club documentation with it, so. Serial number is 38307. And of course right now 12.5 is the bid on this tractor. Selling at no reserve. As Kathy's walking around here trying to find a potential bidder over here. $17,000 now. $18,000. Lance up there working across the crowd a little bit. Yes, it does have the two-cylinder club documentation. That would be the sheet that's hanging off of the left side of the grill there.
And of course, as Max said, this is part of our feature collection with all the John Deere H's here.
Yeah, and once again, just a neat collection to have all the matching equipment and everything with it. $18,000 on that H&H.
And with that one rolling out, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in Walworth, Wisconsin right after this. You've been watching Mecum's Gone Farmin', and welcome back. Mike and Max here. We got another tractor hitting the block right now. Let's get back to all the action. And that'll bring us to S52, which is a John Deere number 11A combine, 42 inside.
Yeah, this one here has these combines here are very neat to find one even in close to operating condition, but this one here has good canvas in it. Left-hand cut, 5-foot header on it, built for the small farmers, and you usually see a lot of its big brother, the 12A. You don't see many 11As. Just a very unique thing to see. Beautiful restoration on this. Shows little use and very well-maintained machine. Bob had the 11A completely disassembled, cleaned, and repainted, completely operational. It does have the Hart Scour Clean right there over top of the grain tank, and that was another way of filtering out the weed seeds from your crop. Very nice combine. Yeah, they are a little bit noisy to operate. I've been around a few of them. Those old pull-type combines, and pretty interesting trying to run them without picking up a rock because the hydraulics in that were not the quickest on the old tractors. So. And I know, talking to Dan, there was a lot of interest in this combine. He'd had a lot of phone calls on this. So. $5,000 bid. I would say that's probably about 5 times what that combine sold for brand new. I have a 1957 model 30 combine at home that we use, and I have the original bill of sale, and that number 30 combine in 57 was only $1,750 brand new. Or no, excuse me, it wasn't $1,750. It was that was with the guy's trade-in. It was $2,500 brand new. So $5,500 on that combine, and it sells.
And it does at $5,500, Max. Bringing up another part of the collection, which is lot S53, and it's a 1941 John Deere HWH.
Yeah, and we just had that HNH go through just before the combine. This one here, one of 126 built, and of course the HWH pretty much the same as the HNH, only it had the wide front on it. They had a little bit taller front spindle in the HWH. Minimum crop clearance of 21.4 inches. Really made for doing the bedded crop, to be able to get out wide, to be able to run over top of the beds, or run the wheels in between the beds. 2-cylinder verified. Serial number is 33295. Shipped May 9th of 41 to Salinas, California. 17.5, and once again another one of them selling at no reserve. So Bob brought these tractors in here with the idea that they were going to sell, and sell well, and so far they have. HWH is probably, next to the HNH, is probably one of the most desirable of the H models to have in your collection. And of course, they didn't make enough of them for everyone to have one, so that's where the price comes from. Yeah, just a beautiful restoration on this tractor. Definitely did it justice.
And it sells out at $20,000. And with that, Max, we're going to take a quick break, but don't you go anywhere. We'll be back with Mecum's Gone Farmin' right after this. You've been watching Mecum's Gone Farmin', and welcome back. Mike and Max here. We got another tractor hitting the block right now. Let's get back to all the action. Bringing us to lot S54, John Deere trailer.
Yeah, and of course, John Deere, this is a John Deere built trailer. They built these for the military in the 40s and continue to sell them to farmers after the war. Trailer does have the winch and a tilt bed. Guy has put LED lights on it and everything, so he can just pull it right behind the pickup. Dual wheels on these. And of course, when I say winch, it's a hand-operated winch. So. $2,500 bid to start this trailer off. And these were pretty neat trailers, actually pretty well built to stand the test of time like they have.
Wow.
And of course, all this stuff, the equipment on there, we are going to be selling separate from the trailer. They're going to be the next few lots here. And this is all matching equipment that would have been pulled by a John Deere H back in the day. So. $4,000 bid on this trailer. I've actually seen footage of some of the old black and white movies for John Deere Day where they actually showed the dealership delivering tractors with these trailers behind 1930s and 40s pickups. And that'd be something neat too if you had a 37A or an early 40A, you throw that right on the trailer, take it to the show, put it behind your vintage pickup, a 1945 or even a 50 Chevy pickup, and put that behind there and haul your tractor right to the show. So $4,300 now.
And it sells out for $4,200, bringing us to another one I had on my dream sheet as I was making my way through the lot. It's S55. It's a John Deere two-way plow. This is a neat piece, Max.
Yeah, and of course this would be a mounted plow for the H, and you had one bottom cut to the left, the other one cut to the right. And what that was for is in certain parts of the country they didn't want to have dead furrows. They needed to land perfectly level. So this way here, when you got your dead furrow, you always had to try to fill them in. This way here, the only dead furrow you had was at the edge of the field. You could get to the end of the field, turn right around, and drop the opposite bottom and plow the opposite direction going back. Very unusual. You do not see these too often, so it'd be interesting to see what these bring. $1,500 bid on that two-way plow right now. Yeah, and find one of these complete like this is tough, even just sitting somewhere, but this one here is complete and been restored. It'd be great to just, if you bought one of these other H's that he's got, you could throw it right on there and go right out and plow your garden with it if you wanted to. $1,700 bid.
And it sells out at $1,700, bringing us to our next one, which is another John Deere plow, lot S56. This one's a single bottom plow.
Yeah, and of course, pretty much it's that plow that we saw sell just a minute ago. This would be just the other half of it. This one a little bit newer version with the truss frame and the gauge wheel on it. Once again, not a very common piece that you see, so. Of course, $250 bid right now. Be an interesting conversation piece to put on any H, just to add to, you want people come up and talk to you, have that on there, someone's gonna come up and ask you about it, so. Just a very unique collection here to have someone that went through and collected all the matching equipment. And of course, Dan put together a great flyer advertising this and really told what the owner was thinking when he started buying all this stuff and adding it to his collection. So $500 now.
And it moves out at $600. And they're going to bring out the John Deere disc. This is another accessory that comes out with this collection.
Yeah, and of course this is another unique little piece. To find one of these little discs in really good enough shape where it can be restored is tough, because a lot of these got left in the fence rows just to sit and rot away. So. And that disc is going to sell for $250.
And with that, we're going to take a break in the action and see what Kevin is up to. Kevin?
Thanks, guys. We're here with Doug and Deanna. Doug, what are we looking for today?
I'm looking for something in the mid-50s, any tractor. Just looking to add a few tractors to a collection.
So you've got how many in your collection now?
I've got a little assortment. I've got a blue one, green one, and a red one. A couple red ones. So
you need some yellow.
Need some yellow, some more green, some more red.
More green and more red. Is there any specific tractor here that you've seen today and said, man, that's really one that I have to have?
There's a lot of tractors here. Most of them today. I keep thinking I need to have a little bit of everything.
And then you're helping them out. You're helping them pick something out. Anything specific that you really like today?
No, whatever he wants.
That's the best kind of lady to get, right?
I know. She wants to start bidding.
That sounds great. Well, you guys, good luck, and hope you go home with something great.
Okay. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And this brings us to another part of this collection I just absolutely love, Max. It's lot S58, 1945 John Deere HN. Of course, this one's also sold with the Model 5 mower.
Yeah, and of course the HN, now you look at this is just that HNH with the normal size. I believe they were 34-inch rear rubber on these. Only 978 HNs built, so still on the rare side. Does come with the number 5 mower, professional restorations, new piston valves on the complete rebuild. Shipped March 31st in 1945 to Nampa, Ohio. The serial number on this one is 5178. And this H does have lights on it and hydraulics, so $6,000 bid right now for this tractor and mower. Both are restored. And of course, the number 5 mower was a very popular mower for John Deere. Selling at no reserve also. $6,250 bid right now.
And it goes out at $6,250. Max, this next tractor coming through here has an original story to it. This is Bob's original tractor, and what he did was actually sold a quarter horse and a saddle to raise up enough money. He wanted to buy it for his father to help him on the farm. It's a 1944 John Deere H. This is lot S59, and this one is special.
Yeah, this one here is, I'm pretty sure Bob's having a hard time getting rid of this one. Very neat having the fenders and the cultivator on it. He sold the H in 51 to the neighbors, and then the H spent the next 26 years working the neighbor's farm, and in 77, Bob bought the John Deere H and cultivator back for $795. And it was shipped November 11th, 1944 to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So. And once again, another one selling at no reserve. And of course, a buddy of mine had a little John Deere H. He always wanted to find a 2-row cultivator for it, and they're pretty hard to find. $3,500 bid on this H with the cultivator. And of course, this one here is hand start, does not have the lights on it.
As we get a good look at Kathy there working the crowd. Dan's got a hot buyer over on his side as the camera makes its way over the top of that. Lots of people still left here in this Mecum's Gone Farmin' Classic Tractor Auction right here in Walworth, Wisconsin, under a 200-foot tent. People have certainly not disappointed us today as far as the buyers.
No, $4,600 right now. I mean, these H's have been selling real well, and a lot of the tractors have been selling really well today. So.
And that one sells at $4,600, bringing us to lot S60. You might not want to stand too far behind this one, Max. This is a John Deere manure spreader.
Yeah, as I kind of joked yesterday, you know, it's the only piece of equipment the manufacturer wouldn't stand behind. So, once again, another beautiful restoration. Most people do not restore manure spreaders. Most of them were pretty well eat up by the time they got done with their useful life. So, and of course, the neat part is to go along with his Model H collection. This is a Model H spreader. And of course, this one here being ground driven does have the original jack on the front of it, which a lot of them got replaced over the years. Looking at $1,000 bid, $750 to $1,000. Selling at no reserve. And to find one that hasn't been beat up, you know, a lot of them, guys with loaders that bash the sides of them or bump into them and bend them, and this one here is just as straight as a string.
Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break in the action, but don't go anywhere. There's plenty more Mecum's Gone Farmin' right here from Walworth, Wisconsin, coming up right after this. Folks, welcome back to Walworth, Wisconsin, and Mecum's Gone Farmin'. As the auctioneer starts his banter, let's get the tractor moving up to the block. S61 John Deere, number 594 hay rake. And this one looks brand new, as just like the rest of the collection match. Looks like it just rolled off the assembly line.
Yeah, and this here, another neat rake to be on rubber tires. A lot of these old side delivery rakes with those gauge wheels in the back, all of them were on steel. So it makes for kind of a unique piece again. $2.5 bid on this rake. Actually, I had to move this earlier today to make room for something out here, and I actually grabbed a hold of this rake and moved it by myself. It was actually pretty free moving and easy to move. So. And we've got a front row seat right now here watching Kathy work with the buyer.
And she walks away dejected. Looks like the buyer won out on that one. But they don't win many when they're up against Kathy. She is very persuasive. And coming through another no reserve is lot S62. This is a John Deere 292 row planter. A lot of interesting pieces coming along with this collection, Max.
Yeah, and this here, I actually, growing up, this is the same model planter my dad used all the time behind his 1937 John Deere B. Very good planter and very popular right now with a lot of the people that are putting in food plots or planting a few acres of sweet corn. Definitely still a good usable planter. This one here has the fertilizer boxes with it. Along the side here, we've got the stakes for going out and putting in your check wire. And then actually that spool in between the two seed hoppers is your check wire. And what you'd do is you'd string that out from one end of the field to the other. And you had to stretch that tight, and then every time you turned and you moved your wire over, and it had little knobs on it that as it went by, that would trip your planter to plant your corn in rows to where you could cultivate it every which way. You could go crossways. If you're real good, you go on an angle. And that's going to sell for $1,300.
That's going to bring us to lot S63, which is a John Deere 4-section rotary.
Yeah, rotary hoe. This was used for taking out the small weeds in your in your short planted crops. You pulled this behind the tractor and just broke that crust. If your corn hadn't quite come up and you got in the rain and it crusted over, this would break the crust up. But also as you pulled it fast enough, it would flip the dirt up in the air and bust up the little weeds that were starting to come too. So. $500 bid on this rotary hoe. Of course, they're only pulling 2 sections of it through right now. Kind of a unique piece. We don't see many of them. And of course, this is an earlier one by that framework that goes over top, and then those plates that are on the top, that was where you'd set a couple stones if the ground was real hard to get that to penetrate.
And of course, the auctioneer explaining to the crowd that there was only 2 sections out there, and explaining you'd be buying 4, and that's why once he explains that to him, he'll get the bidding started again and see if he can get that price up. And it sells out at $600, bringing us to lot S64, which is a John Deere Van Brunt lime spreader.
Yeah, and this is another neat piece. A lot of these got left out in the fence rows and rotted away. And of course, this one here also has that piece of wood running across the bottom there that kind of deflected the lime back and onto the ground. This one here, I even opened up the lids on this. The inside looks just as nice as the outside. A lot of these, when you put the fertilizer in, the fertilizer was corrosive and the guys didn't keep them cleaned up enough. It looks like this one was probably used just for spreading lime, which won't eat up the steel like the commercial fertilizers will. I've always wanted to get one of these, but these are pretty hard to come by in any kind of shape, so $1,000 bid right now on that. Selling at no reserve, as the rest of the stuff in the collection has done. $11.50 right now. And we'll sell at $11.50.
That's going to bring us up to another John Deere. This one's a 1954.
Yep.
John Deere 70.
Yeah, and of course the 70, this is the next version of the Model G. This one here has fenders and the John Deere 3-point on it. I believe what they call the 800 series hitch on there. It does have power steering, and it appears as if it's got the front weight set up on it. So
I'll tell you, Max, if you're a John Deere fan, this auction is probably one of the best ones we've had yet.
Yeah.
I have seen some of the most beautiful tractors out there that are lining up. A lot of them happen to be John Deere because the restoration they have is to the absolute T. These guys have really taken the time here, meticulously putting the paint on, making sure that every detail, it's not just the paint either, Max. A lot of times it's what they're doing to that engine.
Yeah, it'll be the fine details of fixing oil leaks, or maybe someone will add their own little touch, not paint a fuel line or whatever. It kind of sets up to where your eyes, as you look it over, are drawn to certain details on a tractor. And is it correct? If you want a factory correct paint job, there would be no paint on the fuel tanks. There'd be overspray on the muffler, and you'd probably be lucky if there's not some overspray on some different parts, because when they were painted at the factory, it was just the guy pretty much covered his eyes and waved it at the. Right now we're at $7,000 on this 70, but these guys are getting so particular with some of this stuff. So $7,000 sold Kathy's way, I believe.
Well, folks, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. But don't worry, we've got more tractors coming up again next week. You've been watching RFD TV and Mecum's Gone Farmin', Wisconsin. I'm your host, Mike Holland, along with Max Wilson. We'll see you next time.